Yes. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm so beyond excited. It is Tuesday, March 3rd, and we have the unbelievably amazing Abby O'Neill joining us tonight. Jen and I have put together a couple questions, Abby, but I'm thinking we're just going to listen to you talk. But before I hand it over, I just wanted to share with everybody. So Abby has it been 6 years, Abby, you've been with Isagenix?
I just hit 5 years.
Oh, you just had 5 years, not even 6 years. It's amazing, even more amazing. So Abby is a 7-star Golden Circle, 10-star Crystal Executive, and an Isagenix millionaire. Congratulations, so awesome. But the way that I really want you guys to learn about Abby from me is that I was at a Super Saturday. I think it was about a year and a half ago. It was June. I started in January. So I had been using the products for about 6 months, and I went to a Super Saturday that Dr. Josh and Lisa Dunsky put on with some other people, and Abby spoke. And I've shared this before, so I don't know if you remember, Abby, but literally I felt like you were speaking to me. And it was like 300 people in the room, and I was like, wow. And Abby talked about her why. And I'm like gonna cry about this. This is crazy. And up until I should have shared this video there. But up until that point, I don't think I ever thought about my why in any aspect of my life, truly. I just kind of, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that, and you get up because you're supposed to, and you raise your kids, and you just get through the day. And that's truly how I felt before Isagenix was introduced to me. So when Abby got up and she started talking about finding your why, I almost needed her to give me a definition for what why was, because I truly had not really thought about it before that point. And in the next year and a half, almost 2 years now since I heard her talk, that talk that she did has impacted me every single day, not just with Isagenix, but with every aspect of my life. So you have a real place in my heart, and I'm so excited for you to share with everybody tonight. So you know your story better than me, obviously, but Abby met a girl on a beach and followed her on social media, right, for 6 years before she reached out to her. So I'm going to just let you take it away. And if you could maybe just start telling us how you heard about Isagenix and how you got started and why you got started. Did you get started for the products, or did you get started because you saw this? Why did you get started?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with my story, and then you can kind of guide me in the direction you want me to go. So thank you, everyone, for having me. Thank you, Crystal. Every time I remember you sharing that, it makes me so happy to know that just for showing up and being authentic, I can impact somebody. And I want you all to understand that that's not because I'm special. That's something that every single one of you have when you're willing to stand in your power and what you have, because what you have and who you are can impact people that you don't even know. So don't ever think that that story is unique because of who I am. It's all of you have the ability and are impacting people by standing in your power and sharing with others what you've gone through, what you've done, what you found at Isagenix and beyond. So awesome. Well, I will start with my story and try to keep it relatively short. So like Crystal said, I met a girl, Joanna Cavalcanti, in Aruba at a beach bar. My oldest daughter, who's 12 and a half right now, she was 1 at the time. We met, her brother was cute. I was a single mom. We just kind of hung out. Never spoke again, but we exchanged Facebook information. And this is really important to me, why I'm so big on consistency on social media, because it has played such an intricate part in the fact of why I'm here and I have the success that I do, is because I followed Joanna on social media for years, years. Didn't comment. She started Isagenix. I followed her for over a year, watching her do Isagenix, had no idea what it was. I wouldn't comment. I was like, what is this girl doing? She's happy. She's sharing these before and after pictures. She then gave birth to her first son, and she looked amazing, felt amazing, was about to bring her husband home from corporate America, making a 6-figure income. I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but I have to reach out to her. So my message to her after not communicating with her for years was, hey, Joanna, I don't know if you remember me. What are you doing and how do I get your life? I'm like still waiting for the day that shows up in my inbox. But I literally was like, I don't know what you're doing. She shared Isagenix with me. And I was like, yeah, that video is cool, but I don't believe that. And that was the truth too, you guys. When she showed me the videos that we have with Isagenix, I was like, yeah, that's good. I mean, like they look happy, but I don't know. I don't think it's for me. So it took me a good 3 months to finally say yes to her after a series of events. And when I first started, to answer your question, it was for the products. It 100% was, because I didn't feel good at the time. I had a smile on my face on the outside, but internally I was exhausted. I could not release the rest of my baby weight from baby number 2. I just didn't feel good. And she felt good, and everything she was sharing felt good. So I really wanted to feel better. And I was really stubborn in the fact that I thought I knew how to do everything already. I was a competitive gymnast growing up. I knew how to lose weight. I knew how to eat healthy. And when I finally decided to start Isagenix, in the back of my mind, it was, if this works for me, I'm for sure going to want to learn more about what she's doing. But for me, if I hadn't had a product experience, I would have never shared Isagenix. So I jumped in for the products, and it did not take me long at all to realize how good I felt. So because I also had that business mindset in the back of my mind, I was like, Joanna, show me what to do. How do I do this? And I think it's important that I share that with you too, that when I made the decision to do Isagenix, and this is probably part of my personality, when I make a decision for something, I was all in. And I mean that by, I wasn't going to try this. I wasn't going to give this a shot to see if it would work. I wasn't, hey, Joanna, kind of explain this to me. Let me see if it fits into my life. Because I had followed her for so long and I watched what she was doing, when I had that product experience, like a week or 2 in, I was like, if you're making 6 figures doing this and I feel as good as I do, I'm going to share this with people anyways. I'd be crazy not to jump all into this. And I share that because as I continue sharing what happened over the next 5 years, I know that it happened pretty quickly for me. And that's a lot because when I made the decision to do Isagenix, I was all in. There are a lot of people that you're here, you love Isagenix, you're giving it your all, but you haven't fully made the decision to be all in. Isagenix is my forever. And I made that decision like the second I made it, I was in. So I want you to get that, because sometimes we compare ourselves, and you never want to compare yourself to where somebody else is, because the mindset, the decisions that we make, the commitment that we have, it falls differently for everyone. And it doesn't mean that your story is any less powerful than somebody who does it differently than you. So, I mean, David Wood always says at the UIA events, it's not necessarily how long you've been in Isagenix, it's how many conversations you've had. I also believe it's not how long you've been in Isagenix, it's when you make that like wholeheartedly decision and commitment that you're doing this, and it's a business, it's not a hobby, nothing is going to distract you, you're all in, is when you really start to see the growth in your business. So that happened early on for me. I was running a nanny agency at the time, nannying full time. My husband worked for a marketing company. We barely saw each other. We had good jobs with good incomes, which I look back now and I'm like, I know exactly why we were drowning in credit card debt, because we didn't even have enough money to support our family of 4 at the time, even though we were working, both of us, 40, 50 hours a week. And I also remember always thinking, man, like I work hard and I love what I do, but I never get to put my own children first. I'm always putting somebody else's family first, and I'm almost living vicariously through these families. And it's not a life that I have, because they were all very well off and I was living their life, but it wasn't mine. And I remember thinking too, gosh, I signed up to do this with my husband, like to raise our kids and to have a family. And I felt like we spent more time apart than together. We had increasing credit card debt. We couldn't pay all the student loans down. It just didn't feel good. I kept thinking there's gotta be more to this. And when Isagenix showed up, to me, that was like the answer to my prayers. That was the thing that I didn't know existed. That when it showed up, I was like, oh my God, like this can fix all of these things that don't feel right in my life right now. So I jumped in. I didn't have time. I didn't have time to do this. I had to make time in my busy schedule to commit to this because it was more important to me than continuing down the path that my husband and I were on. So I would hide in the bathroom. I took care of 2 little girls and I had my own 2 little girls. I would hide in the bathroom and do calls sometimes. At night, I would put my youngest daughter to sleep. I'd have ear pods in. I would strap the kids in their car seats in their car to make them be quiet for a little while I would respond to some people. Like, I didn't have time. I didn't have it. I had to create it. So when people tell me they don't have time, I understand. But when you have a vision and you have a reason that's bigger than where you are now, you will find the time in the pockets and crevices that you can create in your life if it's important enough to you. And I think that's really important for us all to understand. And I still reflect on myself and say, I could make more time for things that I think I don't have time for if they're important enough. So my Isagenix business was more important to me than staying where I was. So I was a hot mess at the beginning. I wish I could say like there was this perfect balance, that it was like, oh, I had business hours from this to this and then this to this. When I first started, I would have done a call at 2 a.m. in the morning if that's what worked for me doing a call, because I was hungry for this business. There was a lot of, now I have the luxury of my business hours could be 9 to 12 if I want, or they could be no business during lunchtime or no business from 3 to 5 when I'm with the kids. That did not build my business. And I always want to be transparent with people because I think sometimes we hear you need to create balance, you need to make sure you don't do too much and you don't overcommit yourself, when at the beginning, whether it's Isagenix or any type of business, even if you talk to brick and mortar traditional business owners, like it consumes you when you're in the hard build. Like there isn't a lot of balance at the beginning, and that's okay. And that's normal because you work hard and put that time in so that there can be more balance in your life long term, but you have to be willing to put the work in. So I did that for a good 6 months before I realized this financially was 100% going to pay me more than Nanny ever was going to. And my husband being home, he got let go from his job when I went full-time with Isagenix. We didn't have a lot of money at all to float us. That was when we made the decision that we were doing this together. And from about 6 months into our build, he and I have partnered. I have definitely been more of the face of the business. He has done some of the like behind the scenes. We have worked and navigated all of the different things of working with a spouse. Because if you work with a spouse, like you probably know what I'm talking about. You think it's like, bring my spouse home, it's going to be amazing. And then they come home and it's like, oh my God, like, what do we do now? This doesn't work. So we've gone through all of that together, but through all of it, from the day I decided like I'm doing this, I have been consistent. I was consistent on social media. I was consistent in creating new connections. I was consistent on working my list. I was consistent on reach outs. I was consistent on building my network. I was consistent on getting to the events. I knew that if I did what all the leaders before me shared with me, that I could find the same success. But if I were going to have ego and say, well, that worked for you, but I don't know, let me try it this way. And I don't know, that worked for you, but let me try this and this. I was just so coachable and willing to surrender to the, if you're super successful and you're standing on a stage and you're sharing with me what you did, I'm going to try that. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do it. So when Joanna would tell me to do things, I was like, awesome, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do. I will do it. And I kept doing it over and over and over and over again. Exactly what I shared. Be consistent, make my list, follow up, be more passionate, be more consistent. Like I just did everything that people told me to do. And I did it with no ego, thinking that I could do it better, because I really believe that we can see ourselves in those that we are quote unquote more successful or we want to be like. And if we take what they say to heart and we allow ourselves to be coachable and we do the things that others have done to be successful, we're going to start to see the success that other people see. So in 5 years, I mean, guys, my life is completely different than it was 5 years ago. I was always a happy person, but it was more of an external happy and an internal, like, there's gotta be more, there's gotta be more. My whole life, I always was like the happy person. Abby's always happy, but I always felt like there's gotta be more. And now, because of Isagenix, the transformation and personal growth that I have been able to do because of this community, this company, what we're exposed to, has helped me grow into that version of myself that I've always known was inside of me. This financially has allowed my husband and I to be and do life together. Like there's no more feeling like I signed up for this on my own. Like we do life together every single day. We wake up together, we bring the kids to school. Well, he usually wakes up before me and he brings the first to school, and then I wake up and take the second to school. But we pick up the kids together. Like the things that in my heart were important to me as a family, because of Isagenix and because of the hard work we put in, those are the things that's how our life looks now. It's sitting down and saying, hey, what are we gonna do for lunch today? Or who's gonna do this with the kids? We've been able to have a third child because financially before Isagenix, we couldn't even afford the 2 kids we had, let alone think about having another kid. And I like love having babies. Like I just told my husband, I think I want to have 2 more babies, and I think he's ready to like ship me off. But it's just such a different life that we have now because of the work that we've put in. And I will just say quickly that we've been able to travel, we've been able to purchase a home, we've been able to have a third daughter, we're able to be a full-time family and do life together, and all that's amazing. But the past 9 days I have spent in a hospital with my middle daughter, and I will tell you, far beyond anything that Isagenix has monetarily been able to allow our family to purchase, the choice and the empowerment that this industry and this company and this business has given us, to when a really hard situation happened with our middle child, for me to be able to be in the hospital with her around the clock, not thinking about calling into work, using sick time, using vacation time, who's going to be with our other kids, how are we going to make this work? Like all I was focused on was her getting better. And it wasn't like that for a lot of the other parents and children that were in the hospital we were in. And that breaks my heart, because that gift that Isagenix has given us, the residual income piece, the payment on Monday morning, regardless of whether I showed up or not last week, the fact that I can sit back and my business is still going to be okay while I'm in a hospital, that is more important than a home I could have bought, any car I could drive, any vacation trip I had taken. Because we don't always plan on those things happening in our life. And there is nothing else out there that can give you that type of choice when life happens besides network marketing and residual income. And while I believe in the industry, I know there's a lot of companies that don't get it right. So while I will always say I'm a believer in the industry, what I'm really a believer in is Isagenix. I'm a believer in this company that got it right, that does it the right way for the associate and the customer. This is the company that I believe in this industry, that shows up and allows all of us, regardless of what our goals are to create long-term, regardless of whether you want to be a 6 or 7 figure income earner, you are just as important if you want to create an extra couple $100s a month, because that's residual income that could change your family's life. And in the moments of like, oh my God, a hard time hits, even that little bit of extra income that you've created can give you a breath of like, oh, when hard times hit. So I want you to, and I'm more fired up than I ever have been before about what this really gives to people, the things that we don't plan on. And I can't say it loud enough to people to get them to understand. It's kind of like when all of you are on Dr. Josh's team, when he stands in front of a room and he says, I'm not telling you that you have to use Isagenix. I'm not telling you that you have to do this, but what I'm going to do is take away your ability to say that you didn't know there was a better way, that you didn't know that this existed. So like, I'm more passionate than ever telling people that, listen, you don't have to build an Isagenix business. You don't have to buy into network marketing if you don't want to, but I want to take away your ability to say that there might have been a better way for you when you're financially strapped and you're hit with those hard times that nobody wants. I want you to know that there is a better way and an opportunity for you. I want to take away that excuse for people to not know it existed, because I know not everybody will do it, but I want to give people that, I want to take away the, like, you didn't know it existed, because I'm telling you it exists and it's real and it can change your life. So like, I'm on that kind of page with Dr. Josh now, just from a financial standpoint now. Like, this exists, it's real, and you might not need it to the degree you think you need it now, but one day, I promise, every single one of us will wish that we worked a little harder when it was easier to work on our business, because we needed a little more in the moments that we never thought we would go through. That's all my story.
Oh my gosh, Abby, I like wrote down stuff. You answered it. I wrote down more. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So one of the questions I had, and Jen and I had, is, you know, what's your belief in Isagenix? And clearly there it is. Yeah. So
I actually want to say that my belief in Isagenix is a 10 out of 10. And last night I actually had a guest on our team call. It was Lauren Sims, who I love with my whole heart. And I asked her what her belief in the industry was. And she made me like, created clarity for me, which is how I will always deliver. Like, I do believe in network marketing, but what I really believe in for network marketing is I believe in Isagenix. I believe in the Cougars. I believe in what they're creating. I believe in their products, their compensation plan. And that is why I am a believer in this industry.
So how did you get there in the beginning? Did you get there through listening to podcasts? Did you get there through going to events? How did you get that, you know, unwavered belief in Isagenix and network marketing, and our comp plan, I guess, you know?
Yeah. So a big piece of my belief at the beginning, and I think we all need to really be clear on this, is my belief came from watching Joanna's belief. Mm-hmm. So I watched her belief, and I think a lot of people look to us and we're not willing to stand in our belief loud and proud enough. And my belief came because Joanna showed up. She just kept showing up. I was like, this must be real. She keeps showing up. She keeps doing it. Like, it came from her at the beginning. It came from 2 weeks into my product experience. I felt it. I couldn't deny the way I felt. And then it came from, I went to every single event I could possibly get to. Like, I thought, so I started like the end of December, and NYKO that year was like 3 weeks later. And I remember Joanna saying to me, oh my gosh, you'll come to NYKO, this is perfect. And I remember being like, yeah, sure. I thought I was gonna like win it and the company was gonna send me there. That's not how it works. I was like 3 weeks into my products. And she said, you know, that's okay that you missed NYKO, because now that you get it, you'll never miss an event again. And I have never missed another event again, because that's how I built my belief, by watching, by watching the JoJos, because I see her on the call right now, Bennington. By watching the other leaders do what they've done. And again, not having a lot of ego, just saying like, I believe that what they're doing is real, and I believe that they've done it, so can I. So I just held on to all of their belief at the beginning. I think too many of us are waiting to get to every event, waiting for the team to show up, because then that's why we need to be at the events. That's why we need to be at the trainings, when your team is never going to show up and be what you want it to be unless you're willing to hold that belief and passion and excitement for them before it happens. So I would say that getting to the events, having conversations with people, surrendering to like what this was, building a real business and not treating it like a hobby, like here and there when it was convenient. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to treat it like a real business. And that's not like I post when it feels right and I have time, or I get on a call when it feels right and I have makeup and my hair done and I don't want to look like non-professional. Like, it was, I did it regardless. And I will say too, I don't know if Jojo remembers this, but I went to my first UIA by myself a year into Isagenix. I had won the Welcome Home promotion. I went there by myself. I met Tracy O'Malley, who was like somebody that I had seen on a stage at my first celebration. And I was like, oh my God, she's my person. Like, she made me believe in a different way what was possible for me. I met her in person at a UIA. She took me to this platinum lunch and millionaire lunch, and we're just hanging out. I'm like, I don't know why she's being so nice to me right now. She doesn't even really know me. I'm not financially linked to her. She kept saying, but no, honey, you're my heartline. And then I'm at this lunch and JoJo comes up and I know who she is. She doesn't know who I am. And she's like, and Tracy introduces me to her and she's like, oh my gosh, you know who you remind me of? And I was like, no, but you're so cool. Like, you have Peter Kelly energy. And I literally think I like fell into a puddle. But it's little things like that that made me believe that, like, oh my gosh, like, I can do this. So I want you to think about, if you're, which all of you are leaders regardless, like when you say little things to people that show up at these events, it can mean everything to them. So whether they're in your downline or they're not in your downline, they're on your heart line or your upline or your sideline, little things that you can say to other people is going to build their belief in themselves and what's possible far beyond anything you could ever imagine. So thank you, JoJo, because that one comment meant so much to me 4 years later. Yeah, so that's how I built my belief. I still do. It doesn't go away, you guys. Just because I have a lot of belief right now, if I don't keep building that and plugging into things, it will be very quick that my beliefs, because I'll tell you, at the beginning, I used to think, well, when I'm a six-figure income earner, or when I'm a millionaire in the company, or when I have a team of XYZ, then it's all going to happen even faster. Then I'm going to get it even more. Then it's going to be easier. Nothing has gotten easier. If anything, the arrows get bigger and harder. And when people see you become more successful, there's more resistance that shows up. So it's really important to understand that you don't have a mindset of when I get there, then. It's right now in your journey. Right now, it's important that you show up exactly how you desire to be in the future. So if your goal is $1 million income earner, or your goal is to be a six-figure income earner, or your goal is to have a team of 1,000 people, how does that person show up? Because start showing up as that person now, and then do the work every single day and continue to build your belief every single day. Because things happen now in my business where it should be like, oh my God, I'm bulletproof. I already have the proof, the success, the this, the that. Things still happen. And if I'm not consistently plugged in, I start to question myself. I start to question other things. So it's like showering, although I could shower more. It's like not my strong suit. But you shower not one time for the month and stay clean. You shower over and over again. You don't brush your teeth for a half an hour on Friday and call it a day. You do it every day if you want to see long-term results, just like building belief.
I love that. I love that. All right. So we invited, of course, our business builders and leaders, but we also put it out just to our community, because we know that you're just, everything you're saying can obviously be translated into every part of our life, not just our Isagenix business. So can you just talk a little bit, if there's somebody on this call who just popped in because, I don't know, they got a text from me or whatever, or from anybody else, and they have no idea what their why is in life, whether it's Isagenix, whether it's their own personal business that they have, or what would you say to somebody if you were talking to them for the first time and you're like, what's your why? Because I know you dig so deep. I know you dig so deep in people's why. So can you dig a little bit? Not in me, but not.
Yeah. So I would say, and I love that you just shared that, because I really do believe, while Isagenix is the most incredible business in the world, it has the most incredible products in the world, that everything that I've done since I said yes to Isagenix has actually served me in my life and who I am as a person. And I believe that if we were going to talk about why, because everyone has, when I say why, like something that excites you. What do you want to do with your future? What's important to you? Is it your children? Is it like traveling, like the things that excite you? But I think if you broke down every single person's why, because they'd all be different, at the end of the day, we all want joy. We all want fulfillment. We all want purpose. And it's realizing, is what I'm doing now, physically, financially, time-wise, the people I spend my time around, is it serving me if I do this for the rest of my life the way I'm doing it now? Is it transforming and allowing me to uncover true joy in my life? Is it really allowing me to uncover my purpose and my true passions in life? Am I able to show up authentically as who I really am right now? Or am I just settling for, I've got a good life? Because I would like and I really believe this, that Isagenix, what it does is it uncovers people's true potential. It allows us to dream a little bit bigger, and not necessarily even bigger. It just allows us to dream like we used to before society told us what we could or couldn't do. And what Isagenix does, and what this community does, and what all of the work that we do does, is it just uncovers who you really are. And then what it does so beautifully is it gives you a financial vehicle to allow you to be more of that person. So it allows you to say, what really brings me joy in life is traveling and giving back, or what really brings me joy in life is spending more time with my parents that live across the country that never see their grandkids, like being with them. What really gives me joy is volunteering. What really gives me joy is monetarily donating. What really gives me joy is getting a blowout every single week because I want somebody else to do my hair. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be this like amazing, like I want to change the world. But there are things that you probably don't admit to yourself that you wish you had, but society does such a good job of making us feel guilty if we ever want more. And I think what Isagenix does so beautifully is that if you have incredible products, which they know that they have, and we know that it wouldn't work if the products weren't gold, is it takes these incredible products that are life-changing and transformational, gives us an opportunity to share our experience, and in the process, uncover who we really are, the dreams that we have inside of us, the things that we've kind of shut down over the years, the things that we've ignored or we've just accepted as this is as good as it's going to get, and I'm happy and fine with that. It allows us to uncover the potential of more joy, more purpose, more passion, more fulfillment, more excitement, more everything in our life by sharing the products that we fall in love with other people and giving them that exact same experience. It's like amazing if you really think about it. And people that don't want to share it, I just think it's kind of crazy because we share everything that we love with people. So if you don't love Isagenix, then it's probably not the right company for you. But if you love Isagenix, why would you not share with other people and give them the opportunity to transform and uncover the best version of themselves physically and financially, and have a community of like-minded people that show up for you, not because of a paycheck, that show up for you because we know that more people that are doing the work and transforming themselves to become the best version of themselves, when they have more money, more good happens in this world. Like, I used to have a money story before Isagenix, like growing up, and love my parents, they're amazing. But like in my mind, wealthy people, I don't want to say we're selfish, but I always had this idea that like, well, the wealthy people don't give back, or the wealthy people that, and that is such a lie. Like, wealth is only going to amplify more of who you are. And in this industry, in Isagenix, we uncover the passion and the purpose that's within people. We uncover the joy that is hidden within people by helping them physically nourish their body better. And then financially, we give these happy, joyful people lots of money to be able to make so that they can do incredible, amazing things in this world. Like, there's no better plan to help impact this world than to have more people fall in love with network marketing and do the freaking work.
Amen.
I don't know, like,
awesome.
I'm really passionate about it. Like, I just get it. And I think that it's okay if you don't get that to the degree I get it right now. But I just hope I take away like your ability to say that this isn't real and this doesn't exist, because it is real and it does exist, and it's possible for every single one of you, but your journey will never look like anyone else's. So drop that right now. It will never look like anyone else's, ever. And that is the one reason why I believe people walk away, quit, get distracted, look other places, aren't where they want to be. Like, your journey will never look like anyone else's. You will bring somebody in to Isagenix and their journey will never look like yours. Yours is unique. Yours is yours. We all came into this industry with very different backgrounds, very different skill sets. But in this industry, in this company, we all have an equal playing field to all transform into the best version of ourselves physically, and financially, and in the process make an insane impact in other people's lives.
Love it. Well, that was amazing. I have so many questions. We're gonna have to have you back.
You can have more. It's okay. I see. I told you this was gonna happen.
I feel like we should end there because okay. I want to play this back. I really do. I know that you've just got home from the hospital, but I think that was an amazing conclusion for tonight. We'll ask for you to come back, but I can't thank you enough. Every time I hear you talk, I literally have goosebumps all over. You're just amazing, and you inspire me to be a better person. So thank you for being in this world and sharing tonight with us and just always speaking from your heart.
And I will just leave it with this because you just said a good person. I will just say to this, how many people are on here? 35 people. That we are in a time in an industry where it is becoming much more diluted. There is a lot more direct sales, network marketing, things coming up. I will tell you more than ever, us linking arms and really standing for each other, being one team, supporting our sisters and our brothers in Isagenix, and really supporting the vision that the Cougars have with integrity, with real truth and fun and commitment together, we are going to see things happen unlike anything that's ever been seen before. But it takes each of us taking radical responsibility for ourselves, our business, and our ability to stand with integrity and truth and link arms for the bigger purpose that the Cougars have, which is going to serve everyone in the long run so beautifully. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that because now more than ever, it's time to let anything go and just really link arms and serve together and live into that.
Yes. Well, you are such an example of that. So I don't know, Jen Bennett, did you have anything else? I took over all of Abby's questions.
No, it was all perfect. Thank you so much, Abby. I just love it. You totally kick me in the butt, and I need it. So I always hear you speak at the right time, and appreciate you so much. And I'm excited for people to watch this, to re-listen, and to share this to people who missed the call.
Because you guys all understand, you are all capable of all of the things that you desire and dream. All of you are, and you're sitting on a gold mine right now. And how dare we not get out of our own way and at least have those conversations and let other people decide if it's for them or not? Because the time when we don't do that, we make it about ourselves. And at the end of the day, this business is so much bigger than us. Mm-hmm. It's really just showing up, and you have earned the right, whether you've been here for a short amount of time or a long time, we have earned the right to be really excited about what we have with Isagenix. We've earned the right to talk about the money more and to be excited, change the energy up, get excited about what we have and what's coming and what's possible for all of us linking arms in the future.
Love you, girl. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, JoJo. I love seeing your face on here because seriously, you guys, I'm telling you, you don't know what one little thing that you say to somebody might mean to them in their business and their build. So always take that second to open up and chat with somebody or tell somebody something that you feel, because it can mean so much to people.
Love you, Abby.
Bye, guys. Go.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.